All right, everybody. Here is a Blood Moon deck on the play with a City of Traitors Chalice on one go. It appears that the blue-white player on our left did not have a force and is now playing bright white pieces of paper on the battlefield instead of cards. I'm sorry, I don't know. Okay, so Chalice on one, turn 2 Magus of the Moon off of a Chrome Mox is quite a good start here. That's a great hand to start with on the play. Search out a basic plains and I guess let the Magus resolve. It's likely that I kept a hand believing that this player was on Elves, which is what he normally is on. It's hard to say, though. And sorry about that glare. I don't know. That's a basic plains. So fetches are shut off. Swords to Plowshares is shut off. I believe that we searched basic plains because there are more islands in the deck, and also because Terminus isn't out. At least for unlocking our mana a little bit. The unfortunate thing about... Yeah, I mean, the Blood Moon now on top of the Magus means that all the land is locked down. And we draw Standstill while we're already behind. There's a Chalice on one. This game is basically unwinnable. I think that we're just kind of fishing for information here. And there's a Hazoret. That's some pretty good information. So he gets down to like no cards in hand. He goes to attack because he's down to 1 card in hand. And that is a quick-ass clock. We miss our blind Terminus every draw step. And I don't think that there's a way to win this game. Alright, so we will go ahead and try to sword, and when he announces his Chalice trigger, we will concede. In retrospect, I don't think I would even take that line. I think that I would probably have played out even less than I did that game again. And basically just concede to being on the draw, getting chaliced and then mooned out without a force on the draw. What we're looking for here now is post-board we have disenchant effects. We've left in probably all of the spell pierces and ways to deal with things when they ramp out a little bit of mana, killing troublesome enchantments and things. And from his side, he's really kind of trying to trim some of the extra stuff and just slam heavy hitters like Karn is going to win the games here. Turn 1 on the play. I don't know if like pondering is all that good. I'd much rather leave up Spell Pierce or something, but if you don't have access to that, then you should just use your mana when you can, because this is a Trinisphere deck, you know? So we're on the back foot here. We don't have a game to give. We did not play any magic. We did not cast any spells last game. So looks like a turn 1 ponder. Searching for more basics, probably. As we all know, the Blood Moon decks can basically shut off every single fetch in your deck starting from turn 1. So what I'd like to do is keep a basic in hand, then use a fetch immediately, go grab something else, and just try to get a solid mana base of basics together. If we had a basic planes in hand, then we would feel pretty safe about just about anything, because you don't need all that many natural mana sources all that quick. So here's a turn 1 Spyglass, and Spyglass is quite good with this deck because it can shut off whatever fetches were left in hand. It appears that our hand is resilient to this, and it doesn't actually matter. So I have a feeling that the Spyglass is going to name Jace, but he names Engineered Explosives, which is fine. And this is a pretty rock solid hand. We draw Jace off of the top. We're gonna be able to get another basic and then cast a Standstill. And since a lot of his mana comes down to like Chrome Moxes and things like that, it's hard for him to just play draw go, and he's basically going to be priced into breaking every Standstill like really fast. Here the Rabble Master is a pretty sweet threat. That is a Rabble Master, right? I'm going to just play like that. That's a Rabble Master promo or something. Okay, so he creates a Goblin, and he goes to combat, and we take 1. We miss on a Terminus. So now we're in the awkward spot where when you slam a turn 2 Standstill and then somebody cracks it immediately, you've basically got too many cards to handle. You don't want to go to discard, and you have to deal with the board as it is. So we're going to start by sorting a Rabble Master, then probably pondering just to see what our worst card is, just to prepare. We can leave up Spell Pierce here, so that's what I decided to do. And I think that we've cut ourselves down to just 7 again. Alright, so by hitting every land drop and casting the sword, we've managed to keep down to 7 cards. Now we're really, really hoping that they try to slam a Planeswalker or a Blood Moon or something that we can Spell Pierce, because if it's not a Planeswalker or an enchantment or something, if it's a creature here, then that's rough. So that is a Scab Clan whatever. It looks like that thing's probably going to get renowned, right? Because we only have 1 white source. We've got our... Like, the Spell Pierce doesn't do anything. We didn't have a force. Or are we brainstorming in response? Scab Clan is pretty scary. Alright, so he's good, and he comes in to attack, and he becomes renowned. So now the swords are going to really hurt.
Is it any spell? No creature. Non-creature spell.
And there was no Terminus there. I guess the idea behind just passing here is that if he has to cast like a hasty threat or something, then we know what it is before we're priced into forcing the Scab Clan. I don't know that it necessarily matters all that much. I'm not going to take the damage. So there's a trigger, and I lose 3 life for casting any spell. No, 2 life for casting any spell.
Sword him. You gain 3. Okay.
And then I'll just take the 1 for the goblin, and we're down to 12. We're really hoping to find value out of this Spell Pierce, which it looks like... Wow, we won't get it because he casts a Planeswalker with an Ancient Tomb still up. That's brutal. He plays around Spell Pierce. And... Chandra's looking scary, man. Unless double blue snap.
No target
Snap Brainstorm. That's sketch. We're just like looking for Force of Will now. We found Force of Will. And I believe we've got 2 copies of Engineered Explosives in our hand now. Yeah, and it looks like our counterspell was like 1 card too deep or something. And now the time for Spell Pierce has passed, so we're going to force pitching Spell Pierce. And here comes the Blood Moon once the Spell Pierce is gone. So now we're cut off of white mana. We still have a Disenchant, but we don't have access to basic planes anymore. But I think that his hand is emptied now, and we just have to fade the top of the deck. So we're going to slam a Jace, and then probably just become, just acknowledge that the top of our deck is not good. And should we Fate Seal here, or maybe we could Fate Seal ourselves and clear off that Engineered Explosives, or we can Fate Seal him and just hope to just fade a couple of draw steps and very slowly draw out of the mess on top of our deck, because our hand sucks. There's a mountain. Go. All right, but all he has is a goblin. So now Disenchant is kind of off the table for fixing up Blood Moon, which means we need basic planes, and then Disenchant Spyglass, and then cast Engineered Explosives for 3. Does that sound reasonable in any world? We now have Hardcast Force up, if that's relevant. Ensnaring Bridge is probably fine. We're probably on the Jace plan. We don't care about that.
Interesting. Yeah, okay, draw. Brainstorm. This is crazy.
It took a little while, and it's still a bit sketchy. There's a lot of threats in his deck that could kill us, and we don't even have access to white. So these brainstorms are just like spinning our wheels, especially with no access to using fetches off the deck. So basically just holding up 5 mana all the time. The Ponder is going to allow us to, yeah, get rid of the top 2. And we're trying to just randomly draw planes. The unfortunate thing here is that since we decided to go for the Ponder, if he slams, and we brainstorm this turn, so we don't know the top of the deck, if he slams some must-answer threat next turn and we don't draw Island here, then we're in a lot of trouble. Yeah, we only have 1 blue now. Pia and Kieran. Do we have to... Yeah, so pondering last turn, not drawing island, costs us a card, because now we have to cast Force.
Force
Pitching another Force, and just keeping up Snapcaster, I guess. Draw a Force. Brainstorm. We're not getting anywhere, but we just found planes. Why did we put Disenchant back? Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Now we'll just uptick Jace until he concedes.
plus. Seven. Go.
Alright, it took a while. But as soon as the basic count is pretty good.
Oh.
I don't think that there's a point to him casting anything. I also don't really think that there's a point to him playing.
Okay. Go. Pass. Draw. Plus. Okay. Go. Pass. Draw. Plus. 13. 13.
I should just have a d20 for that. My B. Alright, so not sure why he's playing, not sure what he's looking at, not sure what I would bottom at this point. But we've done what we've done, and he will concede to the Jace ultimate next turn. So,
I don't know.
you know, he wasn't prepared to just concede it at 7 or something with a standstill on board, which is fine. We had probably had plenty of time. Also, I don't know if he thinks like this, but if we're going to game 3, his deck has a lot better chance of me conceding on like turn 3 than I have a chance of winning. So it really doesn't matter how long game 2 takes if he's losing. He's got a quick mull. Looks like we've got at least one basic. The ideal hand has a Flooded Strand or Arid Mesa for plains and an island in it. Looks like this one's a bit slow. It's got like Supreme Verdict, which I'm not even entirely sold on that being a good card. It's just kind of a safety valve for a mid-game Rabble Master, basically. Which we'll watch Seok shuffle for a little bit and present a 6. Keeps a 6. And scries to the top. Alright. So, we are successfully into the mid-game, and we haven't been Trinisphered. Unless I'm holding up Spell Pierce, I guess Pondering turn 1 is quite good, because that spell will become useless except as force bait, provided he lands a Chalice on time. So we just really need to churn through the deck pretty fast. If he didn't cast something on turn 1, then here's the turn 2 Chalice. And honestly, we usually just let this go. Like, can't afford to fight over it and then die to Chandra or Karn or whatever. If this is the worst thing that he can do to us, I think that we're all right. And now we have access to planes, so it's possible that we're actually just casting a turn 2 standstill here without like having anything. Yeah, all right. So I think I wiped my forehead there and said "phew" when we've entered the mid game now with Plains Island. And there's Rattlemaster. So the funny thing about Mono Red is that I didn't present a threat. I think we have to force this. We just have so many cards, there's no reason not to. I have to assume that there's like some blue card that costs 1 in our hand. We didn't present a threat, and they still feel like we have to crack the standstill and just keep playing. Like there's nothing... Ooh, yeah, alright. Get rid of the Supreme Verdict. So we trade 2 cards for his turn after drawing 3 cards, and then find access to another basic. And this has to be Chandra or Karn or something. Oh, Chalice on 2.
2. That's even better.
That one we might have to do something about. It'd be best to be able to Spell Pierce or Counterspell it. A Chalice on 2 will shut down Counterspell and Snapcaster and Disenchant. Oh, we did have the Counterspell. Alright. That's convenient. We found Council's Judgment. I think now we've safely... Tundra. That's a little balls. I don't see the need for that. Like, that seems unnecessary. And that Chalice should be in exile. Oh, we couldn't search for... Why did we even bother fetching if we had the second Plains in hand? Shouldn't... We had the second Plains in hand. Shouldn't we have just fetched for Flooded Strand? Or fetched for Island? And this is strange. We're just not casting anything. Two forces, 2 swords, and probably draw a Snapcaster, I believe. Or we did draw the Snapcaster. We kept up like Snap, Counterspell, which can deal with basically anything that he could do with his entire turn. We kind of want a threat, but I don't see the point in putting out a Snapcaster to start attacking him. So we'll just be patient for a little bit longer. Brainstorm finds... Is that a standstill? Yeah, so we can put back 2 swords. And then... Do we have enough mana to possibly play Jace standstill? It's like just... Did we not pay full price for that Jace? Where's the Jace? Where's the... No, we're good. Never mind. No, wait. Are we... Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Okay, never mind. No, no, no. I think that that island should be tapped. Dude. Oh, shit. I really pray I don't use any mana this turn.
Turn is what? Trigger? You have it?
That's really bad, right? Because Jace won. We brainstormed that turn, right? We should have 6 mana tapped. Oh wait, we do have 6 mana tapped.
Pitching brainstorm?
6. No, we should have 7 mana tapped.
Oh, cast. Force pitching spell pierce.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that I messed up there. And that that last island should be tapped last turn. But it appears that I did not use it. That's a mistake. Jace takes up to 7.
Okay. Go.
Now we're really low on resources. Unless, do we still have Snap Force up? Yeah. Because we took down our shields really low.
Okay.
That's annoying if you're trying to Snap Force something. We took down our shields really low in order to cast the Jace. Which basically just like left us too low on mana to effectively deal with whatever he cast last turn.
Oh, okay. Cast. What is that? Oh no, what is that?
I believe that that is... That's the dude who makes artifacts into shocks. Like...
Does he have haste? Hey, does this guy
makes artifact
oh
king 2.
on ETB trigger?
Yeah.
No wait.
As long as you control this creature. As long as you control
I
this
see.
creature.
Okay, he reads good. Sure.
I guess I'll sword him.
5? Yes. Gain 3? Okay. Draw. Brainstorm.
I'm pretty curious now how Seok boarded here, because we've got a wide array of basics available in the deck. So did he stop caring so much about moon effects, figuring that I would fight my way through them anyway, and then focus on more creatures, more planeswalkers, etc.? I'm just curious about what comes out of the deck. Now Teferi will appear.
Ah, you're right. Sorry.
And it costs 6.
Plus. Draw card. Yeah. End turn. Okay.
And I believe that this game is the first time that I was told about how Teferi works if you have untapped lands. So I think that there's a judge call, like next turn or something. Just forewarning, I'm pretty bad at this game. So I think his only chance is to slam repeated planeswalkers, and then out advantage me somehow. So like Karn and Aha.
Mode.
So you're trying to dome me? This has to be 6, right?
Yeah, it only says opponent, right? Not
Yeah.
even player.
Not player.
Yeah. So 10. So 6.
Yeah, so he can't redirect to any planeswalkers with this card anymore. I guess that's an out, is to repeatedly dome me for 6.
On top. Draw card.
I'm not actually all that concerned about it, so I just let it go. We're going to get this next top card back anyway, so that doesn't matter.
2. Plus.
Plus Teferi to 6, put that card back in hand. And then I believe I try to end my turn with no tapped permanents.
Mishra's Factory.
Yeah.
Go.
Trigger?
Yeah, trigger.
Yeah, so I misunderstand this, and I believe he plays like standard and stuff, so I think he
I'm
knew
going to
this.
target this.
이거 자기 거 누운 거 안 잡으면 상대 거 세워줘야 돼. 테페리 트리거 자기 거 눕혔다가 안 세우면
네.
상대 누운 거 타겟 잡아야 돼. 설명 좀 해주시면. 저지. 아,
No problem.
네. 이거 테페리 트리거
네.
자기 거 눕혔다가 타겟 안 잡으면 상대 거 세워야 되잖아요.
예.
Yeah, priority. Target.
He's telling me now that you cannot target untapped permanents.
Sure.
Yeah. So you need to tap the permanent in target. Resolve. Yeah. Yeah. On stack.
What happens if I have no untapped permanent?
So you have to opponent's land. You have to untap opponent's land. Yeah, it's a rule.
Well, really?
Yeah.
모르는 것 같아서 알려주려고
Oh.
도와주려고 부른 거라.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
So at my end step, I can just tap 2 lands and go to end, right?
You have to, but yeah.
Yeah, but now it's okay with
Yeah.
you.
Just end of turn, you tap 2 and
Untap
untap
2 mountains.
Yeah, 2 year.
Are you showing me?
Yeah.
Generous
So please
step
wait.
carry.
That's cool.
Why is this taking me so long? I should just target 2 mountains. I don't know if he's still talking, if the judge... Oh, I was okay, like, I believed him. But, so there's like Oracle ruling here. If you do not control any tapped lands at the end of your turn and Teferi triggers, then you must target your opponent's lands. This literally does not matter with no instant effects. And here we're gonna cycle Decree of Justice.
Oh.
I believe this is an X of
I'm
7.
going to name X7.
Okay.
Decree of Justice cycles and we'll make 7 soldiers. The reason that this is in the deck is because the cycling doesn't interrupt standstill. So we're really leaning hard on things that you can do under standstill without casting.
4/4.
Cycling.
cycle.
Cycling.
One.
Yeah.
Yes.
One tap. Draw.
So another Mishra's Factory. I believe Jace will tick up. Teferi here has a lot of use with Jace. Obviously, as soon as you get his ultimate online, when you brainstorm, you start just exiling their entire board. Jace will go up to 7.
This is
Teferi will go up to 7.
plus you.
Well, he's at 6 now.
Bottom.
If you can't deal with it, put it on the bottom. If you can deal with it, leave it.
It's scary.
Teferi will plus
Yeah.
to 7. Draw a card. Attack with...
7.
Yeah. Attack for 7.
Target.
Abrade a soldier. Sure. He'll take 6.
Where's my? Yeah. Okay. 6.
Fortunate for me that
Take 6.
I didn't attack with a Mishra's Factory that turn.
Activate.
In my second main, I'm just activating 2 Mishra's Factories, which is unsafe, knowing that he has a Braids, and then announce the Teferi trigger and untap them. We should have just tapped 2 regular lands, doesn't matter.
Cast.
Ensnaring Bridgie.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Disenchant that. Untap.
3 mana disenchant, untap. Our board is looking unbeatable here. That's a lot. Ooh, it's close, it's close. I didn't see any moon effects out of there, so I feel like he got rid of them.
He gave me.
Alright, here is a package for me. For accumulated knowledge, left for me by our dear friend Cameron as he moves away from Korea. Thank you, Cameron. I've been playing these in Miracles a little bit. I'm the worst Miracles player in the world, so I don't know if I'll stick with it, but thank you.